We finally have come out of the winter slump. It's now time to enjoy spring for everything that it has to offer, and that includes romanticizing it. Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you haven't watched my videos before, then hi, my name is Fleur. This is your space for all things self-development, where we focus on growth, mindset, and becoming the highest version of yourself. So if that sounds like something that you want to be included in, then welcome to my channel. Anyways, so today's video is going to be all about spring. We have just entered spring. We're probably about like a week and a half into spring, and I want this to be a season that we romanticize together, okay? We finally have come out of the winter slump. It's now time to enjoy spring for everything that it has to offer, and that includes romanticizing it. Before we start talking about how to romanticize spring, I thought that it would be nice to start off with what the meaning of spring actually is. In my head, I see spring as a time for renewal. I've always thought that spring was one of my favorite seasons because it was all about starting fresh. And if you didn't know, I'm actually half Iranian, and Iranian New Year is actually on the first day of spring, and it's called Nowruz. So for those that don't know, Nowruz is a new year that symbolizes a fresh start, cleaning, spending time with family and friends, and just connecting with oneself and specifically with nature. So I think it's quite cool that somewhere in the world there are people celebrating and going into a new year. So it's kind of crazy because like we're already 3 months into 2025, but if you haven't been able to focus on the goals that you so badly wanted to focus on, just start again. Just start again. Don't think of it as, oh my god, I've already failed, so now I have to wait till the 6th month mark to have a refresh. You can start whenever you want, and when would be better to start than spring? This is literally the season of rebirth, so this is the perfect time of year to start fresh and focus on your goals. Spring isn't just a season, it's a feeling. Like every single season, there is a different way that we can romanticize that season. There's so much to romanticize about it, with the light mornings, the sunshine that we haven't seen in God knows how long, the scent of flowers in the air, finally being able to buy yourself tulips and put them in your room or in the kitchen. And it's just the importance of embracing the little things, like finally seeing people wearing pastel colors and summery colors and bringing out their dresses that they've been wanting to wear for so long. The warm breeze and nature's music with the birds singing. It encourages us to just slow down and be patient and to just love everything that there is around us to love. There is so much for us to love in the world. Look at the beauty of the world. There is so much for us to notice, and spring is a door, an awakening for us to be able to see the things that we don't necessarily always see. I have 25 activities that you can do to romanticize spring, so let's get straight into them. Right, we're going to start with 5 things that you can do outside, because if you're not doing things outside, then are you really romanticizing spring? This is the time to be outside. Number 1, and we're going off straight with one of my favorites, is to have a picnic, preferably under cherry blossoms. Now, cherry blossom trees or sakura trees are my favorite type of trees. I wish that we could have more of these in the UK because I just want to be around them all the time. They are the epitome of spring. I just love them so much. But if you can't, then just have a picnic in a field, in a park, whatever it may be. I'm actually going to be having a picnic with my friend next week, but I'm so excited because it'll be my first picnic of the season. But I've been on many picnics in the past with my friends, and honestly, it's just so much fun to be able to not only connect with the people that you're with when you're spending that time with them, but to also connect with nature in a fun and playful way. Bring your favorite snacks, maybe cut up some fruit. For me, I love fruit. I could literally live on fruit, but whatever your favorite snacks may be, bring them with you and bring a book, whatever book that it is that you may be reading, and just enjoy nature. Number 2 is to go for a morning walk, but not to be listening to music or a podcast or whatever it is. I do love the hot girl walks of listening to a podcast or music, but for this specific walk, I want you to just listen to the song of birds, because what music is more beautiful than that? Just listen to nature, listen to the sounds of people going to their 9 to 5 or taking their kids to school or going to the gym or whatever it may be. Listen to the sounds of the world around you and truly tune into it, because then you will be able to connect yourself with nature even further than when you just go on a walk and you're playing music or listening to a podcast or looking down at your phone. If you struggle with this, what I have seen going around on Instagram and TikTok, and my friend actually does, is going on colour walks. So you pick a colour before you go on a walk. Let's say you choose a colour pink or green, and then you try and find different things in your environment around you with that colour. If it's green, then you're probably going to be taking pictures constantly. I mean, I guess it depends where you are, but still choose a colour and then just take a picture of all of those things that you can see with that colour. And then by the end of it, you're going to have 15 to 20 pictures, or if you're a little bit crazy, then 100 pictures like my friend, of that specific colour, and it will make you have something to focus on. I know that it is technically still going on your phone, but it's going on your phone in a completely different way, because instead of you focusing on social media and like all your messages that are coming through, you're focusing on the world around you and on nature. Number 3, and something I haven't done yet, but I really wish I could, and is definitely on my bucket list for whenever I can do it, is to visit a botanical garden or a flower field. Have you ever seen the tulip flower field in London? Oh my god, it's so beautiful, and I can't tell you how badly I wish that I could go and see that. I'm currently focusing on my dissertation and on uni in general, so it's very difficult for me to make plans like that if it's not local to me, but one day I will make sure to go, because it is definitely something I've always wanted to do. But even just going to a botanical garden, I've actually never done this before, but there are so many botanical gardens that you can go to. I know there's quite a few in London, but if you don't live in the UK or whatever it is, wherever it is that you live, I'm sure that you can find a botanical garden or a flower field. Like, go with your friends or go by yourself and go on a solo day and just enjoy it and romanticize it. Number 5 is to try gardening or plant some new flowers for your windowsill if you don't have a garden, or just simply buy yourself some flowers. Any of the 3. I personally do not have my own garden, but I know that my dad loves gardening, so whenever I visit him, I'm always helping him out with the gardening, because he works so much, and then when he's not working, he's gardening. I love it, but also please rest. So I'm there just trying to like help him so he doesn't have to do everything that he's doing. But gardening is just very therapeutic, and my dad's always telling me that he just loves it so much because it is a form of therapy. And it makes sense because you're nurturing these plants. If you don't have access to a garden or you can't do that, then just simply buy yourself some flowers. I always have some flowers that I've bought for myself. It just makes my day so much more exciting when I buy them, and then every time I see them when I'm in my room, I'm like, so beautiful, especially tulips. I love tulips in the spring. Right, the next 5 are going to be for slow living and creativity. Number 6 is to read some poetry. Now this is coming from a poet, but I want you to know that poetry is misunderstood, okay? You might think that you hate poetry, but that's because you're basing it off of how your teacher used to teach you poetry when you were younger. Let me just tell you now, they shredded it to pieces, okay? It doesn't matter why the sky is blue. Like, that's not what we need to be focusing on. You can read poetry in whatever way works for you and in whatever way makes you feel satisfied. In whatever way it brings up emotions for you, it's personal. Poetry is personal. We're never going to be able to speak to Shakespeare, you know? We're never going to be like, Shakespeare, why did you write that? Or Wordsworth, why did you write that? So instead of us trying to like figure out why they meant what they meant, figure out what it means to you to read it and to expand your emotions from reading that poem. Give it another chance, please, because poetry is so beautiful when you do read it in the proper way. I'm currently reading Rumi. I love his poems very much, and if you want somewhere to start off of, then I definitely suggest reading Rumi's poems. Number 7 is to start a springtime journal with reflections and gratitude. I love to do is at the end of every month or season, I love to do a little goodbye note and then a hello to the next season or to the next month. So it is coming up to April, which is crazy to say. How are we already in the 4th month of the year? And I will be doing this with March, just saying goodbye March, thank you for all that you've brought into my life, and saying all of my favorite memories and then what it is that I hope to get from April. But you can do this with seasons as well. Even have a spring journal and then just journal everything that you can about what's going on in your spring season. Maybe press down some flowers or whatever it is that makes you happy. Do some drawing if you love drawing. Trying to connect with ourselves through journaling is something that I always talk about on my channel, but I will never stop talking about it because journaling is so important. It allows you to speak to yourself, and the connection that you have with yourself and the conversations that you have with yourself are the most important conversations that you will ever have. Number 8 is to create a springtime vision board. Now, if you're anything like me, then you love mood boards. I have a 2025 mood board, and then I make monthly mood boards. I'll put my mood board up for the one that I made for this April, but I have put a lot of spring photos in this because I don't have a spring mood board. It's just basing off of my April mood board. But if you aren't into mood boards, I'm sorry, I'm about to get you into them. If you want to manifest your dream life, That is what a mood board is for, because when you're creating this mood board, you are putting pictures that you hope to one day take yourself. And let me just tell you now, you will one day take those photos. I have had photos on my mood board that I have literally taken myself afterwards, and even if they're not the same pictures, it's still along the same lines. And there may be things that you put on your mood board that you haven't achieved, but then you can always achieve them next time. I had a lot of things on my 2024 mood board that are now on my 2025 mood board, and that I've actually finally succeeded, like having this camera, for example. This was something that I've wanted for a very long time. It was on my 2024 mood board, but I couldn't have one last year, and then I managed to get one this year. So everything comes in divine timing and at the right time. But while you can, just romanticize the season and do it through mood boards, because it's so exciting going onto Pinterest and picking out all of these pictures that inspire you to create something fresh from this season. Number 9 is to write a letter to your future self that you can actually open next spring. We write letters for other people that we love and our partner, but we don't think to ever write letters for ourselves. Like, how exciting is it to be able to write something that you're going to be able to open this time next year? And this is definitely something I'm going to be doing. I actually wrote a letter for myself at the start of 2025 to read at the end of 2025. I also wrote a letter for myself on Valentine's Day to read next year, and I think it's so cool to do this for seasons as well. Whatever it is that maybe you really want to achieve this spring but you aren't or don't think that you will be able to achieve, maybe you can put it in the letter and say, hey, I hope you're at a time in your life where you can actually achieve these things, or maybe you can actually go to a flower field because you have the time, which is something I would definitely be writing down. But just, there is something so romantic about sitting down and writing a letter for you, knowing that that time that you're putting into it isn't going to anyone else, it's just simply going to yourself. And that is something you should be doing for yourself because you are deserving of that love. And number 10 is to take up painting or do some coloring or maybe sketch some flowers. Just connect to your creative self, because when we were children, we were never bored. We always knew what to do with our time, and yet as adults, the only thing that we know how to do with our time is to doom scroll. And I am calling you out here because I know that you personally, the person watching this, definitely doom scrolls. You know why? Because I doom scroll as well. And especially because I'm all about habits, if I'm doing it, then I know that you're doing it as well. So you and me, we have to work together and we have to do things that maybe isn't going on our phone 24/7. And if that means coloring and drawing and painting, like, that's exciting, that's fun, that's even more exciting and fun than doom scrolling. So let's get started on it together. The next 5 things are going to be things that are very cozy related and that are going to get you in the cozy feels. Number 11 is to bake something floral themed. So this could be lavender shortbread. I looked up some recipes on ChatGPT, like spring recipes, and this was one of them. Or lemon cake. Lemon cake is my favorite cake. I love lemon cake so much. If you haven't had lemon cake before, or orange cake, please try, because it is so yummy and just moist. Really didn't want to say that word, but it's the best way for me to describe the cake, and it just makes me feel like it's spring. You could also drink something floral themed as well, but just something that gives that spring appeal. I know that hot cross buns, they're definitely something that are associated with spring, so if you're feeling that, then buy some hot cross buns. I personally really love them. They also have the chocolate versions, so yummy. Number 12 is to make some homemade iced tea. That sounds so much fun, and I have not done something like that before, so I definitely have to try it because I love the Lipton's lemon or peach iced tea. It's so yummy and it's so fresh, and I've associated it now with having it at springtime, also while I'm studying, which is a bit weird, but when I'm studying, I sometimes love to have Lipton's, and now when I think of Lipton's, I think of studying, which is a bit sad. Try making your own iced tea. Actually not as hard as it seems. I did make my own one last spring, and it was just so much fun to make. Number 13 is to embrace the spring colours in your wardrobe. So wear things that are floral. This is the time of year to stop wearing black, okay? And this is coming from someone whose wardrobe is literally just black. I was actually trying to pick an outfit yesterday, and I went to my wardrobe and everything was black, and I just said to myself, you know what, this is getting depressing. And then when I went outside, I saw all these girls wearing these beautiful floral dresses and reds and yellows and oranges, and it just made me so happy. Like, this is the time of year to be wearing those kind of colors. I want to be bright. I'm going into my era now where I want to be wearing bright colors, and I say this while I'm wearing gray, but hey, this has flowers on it. I'm still sticking to the theme. I'm just saying that like bright colors, they make me so excited, and maybe it will make you excited as well. So try wearing something floral or something pastel or something colorful and bright. Number 14 is to do a little spring reset of your room, and maybe even decorate your room with some spring deco. So this could just be simply fairy light, or maybe even having a salt lamp in your room. Maybe you could have some floral touches, maybe some flower patterns, getting yourself some flowers. I just think there's something about spring. Like whenever I thought about spring cleaning, it makes me excited, okay? Because picture this. Your window is open, there's a breeze coming through your window, you can hear the sound of the lawnmower from the neighbor's garden, there is sun piercing through your window, you can hear the birds singing, you can feel the sun on your skin. Your room is a mess, but you know what? You're going to clean it because you feel motivated, you feel excited to clean your room now. And you play some music and you get cleaning, and you throw away all the things that you don't need anymore. You declutter your life. There is nothing more exciting than that. So get on your spring cleaning. And that leads me on to number 15, which is to create a spring playlist so that when you're doing things like cleaning your room or going on walks or being at the park, you have a spring playlist to listen to. I actually have my own spring playlist, so if you want to give it a listen, then I'll put it on the screen. But if you want to create your own spring playlist, I would say go for it. The way that I create my playlists when I want them to be created for a specific season or a specific feeling is I think, okay, what kind of songs give spring? And then I put all of those songs into a separate playlist, and I obviously call it the spring playlist. But it's up to you. I would say don't put sad songs in your spring playlist. Sad songs is for autumn and winter, okay? But we're coming out of that. We want some upbeat, some positive lyrics going on here. So get some of that in your playlist. You can still have a few sad songs here and there. I definitely do, because I love Taylor Swift, and a lot of my favorite songs of Taylor Swift are quite sad and don't necessarily give spring, but I still have them there because I adore her. Now we're moving on to the next 5, which is all about self-care and mindfulness. Number 16 is to actually meditate outside and feel the fresh air on your skin. I love meditating. It's something that I've had a bit of a rocky relationship with, but you know what? There's nothing better than grounding yourself and connecting with your breath and connecting with your inner self. And I've always thought, like with meditating, that you had to have a clear mind, but I heard someone say recently, I'm pretty sure it was Unjaded Jade, that meditating is not meant to be about quieting your mind. Sometimes it's just about connecting with your mind so that you can actually understand how it is that you're feeling and what thoughts are popping in your head. So don't try and think of it as this time where you have to quieten your mind. Allow the thoughts and feelings to come to your mind, but then flow yourself through them and think about new thoughts. It's all about getting rid of all the negative energy out of the breaths that you take, and then inhaling positive energy and the fresh air that's around you. So get outside and do some meditating. On the topic of being grounded, I thought this would be a really good time to plug in my podcast with Molly. She's one of my friends on YouTube. If you don't know, she also has her own channel, and I definitely recommend watching her videos. We have a podcast called Being Grounded, which is all about how you can stay grounded in this hustling environment and become the best version of yourself. Okay, number 17, one of my personal favorites is to look at a sunrise or a sunset, because I love sunsets and sunrises, just both of them. I love them. Get yourself outside, go to a local park, bring a friend with you, or go by yourself and bring a book. Journal, maybe journal about how that sunset or sunrise is making you feel, and just look at the sky. It's like a painting, like a work of art that God has done for us, and yet we're so busy looking at our screens that we're not even looking up to see at how the sky has literally been painted for us. The brush strokes in the clouds and in the colors that are blending from pink to orange to blues and whites. Look at the sky and feel excitement from what it is that you can see, because we're lucky to even be here, let alone to see the masterpiece that is Earth. That got a little bit deep. Anyways, number 18 is to declutter the things that you have. Now, I'm leading off from the spring cleaning things, but when it comes to self-care and mindfulness, sometimes decluttering all the skincare that you have, or all the clothes that you have, or all the things that are holding bad memories for you can be really healing. And once you've done that spring clean, once maybe you've bought a few new things for your room and you feel a little bit fresh, maybe get rid of things that are holding you back, like specific clothes that were from this era that maybe you don't want to be connected to anymore, or some skincare products that you generally haven't touched in a year or two. Just allow yourself to step into a new chapter, because for me, I associate a lot of clothes with a specific era of my life, and sometimes it's nice just to get those things out of your life. You can say the same thing about music as well. Sometimes I'll listen to a specific playlist or to a specific song, and it will literally be a portal for me to go to that exact time of my life that I was in when I first listened to that song, and it's nice to just disconnect from that. If there are certain things that pull you back or remind you of the past and it's all negative, then maybe you don't want to have that in your life anymore when you're starting fresh, because that's what spring is about. So really be careful about the things that you surround yourself around. Now that takes me on to number 19, which is actually to start a skincare routine that allows your skin to feel dewy and fresh. Best feeling is when you've done your skincare and you're sitting in bed and you're just about to go to bed and you feel like a wet rat. That's how. If you do not feel like a glazed donut before you're going to bed, are you really doing it right? Because it just feels so good. It just makes me feel so good. So honestly, I do want to say, if you are starting a skincare routine, this is for the guys as well. Like, if you want to start a skincare routine, please. I've actually taught my brother what skincare products to use and he's doing it. So please join the wagon. Just make sure that you're doing it simple, okay? You don't want to have a 10-step skincare routine. We're not about that on this channel. What I would say is, if you haven't done skincare routine before, try and find a good serum that would be for your skin type, a good moisturizer, and a good SPF, and that's all you need to start off with. Oh, and a good cleanser as well. But if you don't want to get into that, then that's fine. But if you do wear makeup, I would suggest using a cleanser. So honestly, just starting a new skincare routine that just makes you feel good about yourself is so important. And if you're feeling bored of the products that you're using, then maybe it's a good idea to start with new ones. I will, however, say, don't skip from one product to the next, because that's going to probably worsen your skin. And just think about it, like, if you're consistently using different products, of course there's going to be a consequence with that, so you just need to be careful. And number 20 is to start waking up early, okay? There are no excuses. I don't want to hear that you can't be asked to wake up at 7 a.m. and go to the gym because you don't have an excuse. Okay, I understood in the winter it's easy to fall into the routine of not waking up early and staying in all day, but now that it's spring, now that the sun is out, we actually don't have an excuse. Okay, I don't have an excuse, because I tell you what, I've been doing the same thing. I keep sleeping in and I keep skipping the gym, but I'm trying to remind myself, no, if we want to glow up for the summer, whatever glowing up may mean to you, but if we want to feel our best self for summer, then this is the time to start. I will create a whole video for that, so don't worry, that will come. But just focus on becoming the best version of yourself in whatever way works for you. And for me personally, I love waking up early because then it gives me the whole day to work on myself. If you think that you need to work on your morning routine, I do actually have a video on my channel. I think that having a solid morning and night routine is so important when it comes to helping yourself to be able to get up early and do the things that you know it is that you need to do. And now we're going to be going on to the last 5 things that I'm going to be telling you, which is all about how to make your life a little bit more magic. Number 21 is to walk barefoot on fresh grass. Now you're probably thinking, Fleur, what the hell? Are you okay? But listen to me. Have you ever had that moment where you're just walking barefoot on grass and you've never felt more connected to nature, but not only nature, but to yourself? It's something about walking barefoot on grass. It just makes me feel like I'm connecting to Mother Nature. It just makes me feel so alive. So if you're ever going to a park with your friends, like if you're going on a picnic, just take your shoes off and walk and run barefoot in the grass. Just enjoy the sun, soak up the sun, go around with your friends, dance. Like, honestly, just connect with your inner child. I feel like that's what spring is all about for me. When I think of spring, I think of an inner child being so excited and happy to finally come out and to do all the things that makes them happy and to do all the things that makes them feel fulfilled. Number 23 is to find new cafes in your area and to just do some more exploring, okay? Get out there, go on solo dates, go out with your friends, do little coffee dates or study dates, whatever it may be. This is your time to finally get out of your cave, get out of your room, okay? We don't want to be hiding in this little cave anymore. We want to be out there exploring the world and exploring wherever it is that we are and exploring the nearest city to us or exploring wherever it is that you live, so that you can feel like you're actually taking advantage of the place that you live in. I notice for myself that I always spend so much time in my room and then I wonder why I feel lonely, because I'm not allowing myself to connect with the outer world. Just being around people, something about that makes me feel less alone. So going to a coffee shop or a library, just hearing the sound of other people with their friends and having those conversations with their friends, it just makes me feel less alone and it makes me feel like I'm connected to the world and to the community. So get yourself outside. Number 24 is to dance in the rain, because there will be rain. I mean, come on, we're going into April showers. There's going to be rain. But you know what? I love rain. Although I am sort of sick of it right now because we're coming out of winter. There's something about spring rain that just feels different to winter rain. It's so refreshing. Like, the smell of rain for me is the smell of spring. I love the smell of fresh rain, and there's something about dancing in rain which is even better. So get outside. When it's raining, I want you to get outside. Maybe, hold up, wait a second. Maybe play your spring playlist. Take off your shoes and walk barefoot in the grass and twirl and dance like no one's watching in the rain. Number 24 is to visit a farmer's market. Now, there's something so magical about farmers markets and just going to a market instead of a supermarket, okay? Because when you go to a farmers market, everything is just so fresh. I love the fruit at a farmers market, and we have this little local market that comes every now and then into the city I live in, but there's something about the fresh fruit and vegetables of a farmers market that is just so magical. It brings in a little bit of magic into your life instead of just going to a supermarket. So if you have one local to you, I would definitely suggest going. Maybe get yourself some fruit. It would be even better if, because I clearly love to do this in this video, get yourself some fresh fruit from the farmer's market to take with you on the picnic that you are inevitably going to go on. There you go, sorted. Number 25 is to take more pictures of nature's tiny little details. So I'm saying things like petals and bees and raindrops and just anything that you see, take a picture of it, because it's something for you to capture. As well as taking a picture of things, I will also say allow yourself to be in the moment, connect with everything that's around you, maybe even pick some flowers so that you can make your own cute little bouquet for your room or for the people that you love in your life, and just appreciate everything that spring can give to us, because it truly is beautiful and it's fleeting. Like, every season will be going from one to the next, and before you know it, it will be summer and you won't have this anymore. Take pictures of all the trees that you see and all the flowers, and maybe take progression photos. So like, you see this tree 1 week, what does it look like in 2 weeks time or 3 weeks time? I think that would be really cool to see the progression of that. Just allowing yourself to connect with your inner child. Ask yourself in any specific moment, what is it that would make my inner child happy, instead of asking yourself what it is that you think would make other people happy, or what it is that you think should make you happy, or what it is that would make you seem less weird. Just connecting with ourselves is so beautiful, and we take it for granted because we think that in order to be liked by everybody else, or in order to be accepted by society, we have to do things that seem normal to everybody else. But you know what? Spring is a time of just doing things that make you feel happy. So if that means dancing in the rain, picking yourself some flowers, walking barefoot in the grass, writing in your journal, do those things. It's time that we start doing the things that make us happy. And that brings us to the end of our video. I would love for you to comment your favorite spring activity down below and let me know what it is that you are excited to do this spring. If you enjoyed this video, then please hit the thumbs up button and subscribe to my channel for more content like this. And I will see you in the next video. Bye bye, my lovelies.